أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Abubakar Hassan. You can call me Hassan. The topic I want to present is here today is personal data protection issues and challenges for Professor Sohaidi Hassan, College of Science, College of Art and Sciences, University Utara, Malaysia. The personal data protection, there are many responsibilities to protect the data you come in contact with every day. This presentation intended to provide with an understanding of the types of data collected and how it is classified, your data handling responsibilities, the basic privacy laws you must comply with. These are icons showing about maybe this is a laptop, this is a key or padlock, this is the database, this is a kind of data also, personal data, and other things like that you have to consider. Personal data, we collect and store different types of data in the course of our business, day-to-day business activities. Some examples are student information, employment records, research information, personal health information, vendor information, e-commerce. We can also collect data about students, parents, employees, alumni, donors, friends, family, and other constituents, except that the data provided will be protected and handled appropriately. So how do I protect data? You can protect data by knowing how to classify data, handling data appropriately, adhering to data access principles, knowing privacy laws, regulations and policies, taking responsibility. Classification of data. There are three basic fundamental data classifications that can be defined: the access, handling and proper disposal of data. We have public data, restricted data and critical data. We are going to explain them accordingly. Public data, data that has few or no restrictions for access, disclosure and disposal, such as schedule of classes, course catalog, employee salary information, employee business phone or office assignments. These are the types of public data that everybody can have access to. Restricted data, data that requires specific authorization to access or disclose. Secure disposal is required in these types of data, such as student class schedule, advising notes and grades, full date of birth, ethnicity, citizenship, employee address and home phone. They are all restricted data. Then the last but not the least, critical data, data that requires authorization to access and the highest level of protection. Inappropriate handling of this kind of data can result in personal, criminal or civil penalties. Secure disposal required. This is a very important data that you have to secure it very strictly. This will include data like social security number, driver's license number, banking and credit card number, protected health information also should be disposed securely. Then the second part of this presentation is handle data appropriately. How can you handle data appropriately? We have to look and understand this data classification so that we can be able to handle data in a securely way. What we have to consider and understand is access data appropriately, share data securely, store data securely, transmit data securely, dispose data securely. Protect your password. Protect your password. Never share it with anyone. Never use it for other applications and services. Always say no if prompted to save in memory. Do change it at least every 2 years. If you suspect your password has been compromised, do change it as soon as possible. Protect your accounts. Set your screen to auto lock on all systems and devices. Utilize passcodes on all mobile devices like smartphones, tablet, PC, and other things like that. Encrypt mobile devices that store institutional data and or critical mission systems. Try to get technical assistance from the knowledge base or your local service provider when the need arises, when you are not sure of how can you protect your data, or you are not you do not understand how to handle your data appropriately. Share information securely. Share information securely. You may need to transfer or share information externally as part of your job. There are 3 secure methods for sharing restricted data, which includes /term. This is for all classifications of data, including critical data. This can be applicable. /term can be applicable to all types of data classifications. Box and trusted data account for restricted data only. You can only use it for restricted data. Box health data account. This can be used for protected health information and some restricted data also. Use email appropriately. Do not send restricted and critical data to email unless your role requests it. An email will be encrypted, for example, by using the Cisco registered envelope service. You can encrypt your email. Never ask an external party to transfer critical information to you through email, like social security card, driver's license, visa, tax returns, banking information, etc. They are all critical information. Should not compromise them. Encrypt email. How can you encrypt your email? When you need to encrypt an email message, you can use encryption tools such as Cisco registered envelope service, and make sure that you include the words secure message or confidential in the subject line of the email message. Don't fall for phishing scams. Never request your passphrase social security number, or confidential information through email. Be suspicious of email that asks you to enter or verify personal information through a website or by replying to the message itself. Not sure? Here are some tips to keep you from getting hooked. That is the next slide. The tips are: you have to ask yourself some questions or look at some questions to direct you how to secure your information through either email or other ways like that, especially using email. And you should consider this so that it can guide you. Are you expecting somebody asking you question or send to you a questions, or you see a questions on your email messages saying that, are you expecting an email of this nature? Something like password reset. Your message say reset your password, or your account expiration, wire transfer, that is money transfer, travel confirmation, maybe something like that. So you have to be careful. Does the email ask for personal information like password, credit cards, social security number, etc.? When hovering over links, do the hover text link match the actual text? Do the actual links look like sites you do business with? So you have to look at it. Click reply. When you click reply, does the address in the to field match the sender? If it doesn't match the sender, you have to write it correctly so that you cannot mistake to send message to the unauthorized person, the person that you are not intended to send message to. The next one is sensitive data. Never store sensitive data in email longer than required on a web server used to host a website open to the public. Don't send sensitive message or store sensitive message to that web server. On your mobile devices also, you are not advisable to save sensitive data like your laptop, USB flash drive, tablet, smartphone, unless the information is properly encrypted. Storage options. These are some options for your storage. You can store your data in one of these storage media, like intelligent infrastructure that can be used for all data classifications. /tem also can be used for all data classifications. And trusted box, you can use it only for restricted data or less, no critical data. Health data box, EPHI, critical data and some restricted or less, but preferably this is a critical data. SharePoint also use restricted data or less, no critical data. Canvas, restricted data or less, no critical data. On base, all data classifications. This you can store all the types of data here. Secure file server, to be accessed by some, not everybody. That means you have to protect it. The protected data can be saved in the secure file server. Ask questions if you are unsure of where to store sensitive data. Proper disposal. In order to properly dispose your information or data, you have to consider this: cross sheet paper containing critical and restricted data when no longer required for business. Secondly, sheet failed devices and media containing sensitive data, including laptops or phones. The fourth one is adhere to data access principles. You should take care and make it very important to you on how to access data, and this data can have many principles, and you have to consider the principles of accessing data, like access data only to conduct business. Do not access data for personal profit or curiosity. Limit access to the minimum amount of information needed to complete your tasks. Respect the confidentiality and privacy of individuals whose records you access. Maybe as when you are an employee and you have access to students' records or employee records, so try to make it confidential and private. Do not share data with third parties unless it is part of your job responsibilities and has been approved by the appropriate data stewards. Ask questions when you are unsure about data handling procedures. Then the fifth one is know privacy laws, regulations, and policies. Every parent, student, and employee should be aware of the following federal privacy laws. In many countries, or almost every country has federal privacy laws, and you're supposed to know about it so that you cannot violate the rules of the country you are residing. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which is generally prohibits the disclosure of student education records without the prior written consent of the student. The Health Insurance, Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, imposes numerous strict privacy and security requirements on protected health information. Then we want to briefly explain this federal privacy laws so that it can be clear and understood. Like now, PAPA, once students start attending school, privacy rights transfer from parent to student. Written permission is required to share PAPA data with third parties. Student educational records must be restricted to school officials with a legitimate educational interest. Policy for release of student information details procedure to provide appropriate access to student records in compliance with PAPA. That is Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Then the next one is HIPAA. The HIPAA privacy rules protect all individually identifiable health information held or transmitted by a covered entity, regardless of medium. The privacy rule calls this information protected health information. That is like insurance. Information about somebody's health and his insurance and other things like that are confidential and critical. Summary and conclusion. Personal data should be obtained and processed fairly and lawfully. Personal data should be obtained only for one or more specified and lawful purposes. Personal data should be adequate, relevant, and not excessive. Personal data should be accurate and, where necessary, kept up to date. Personal data should not be kept longer than necessary. Data must be processed according to the rights of the data subject. Security measures must be taken to ensure that the data is not accessed without authorization. Thank you for listening and watching. My name is HassanAbubakar. Thank you and God bless.